Hello, parents and family members of Richard Montgomery 10th grade students. My name is Molly Clarkson, and I am the MYP coordinator at RM. I'm happy to be here with you today explaining the personal project process for the 10th grade year. So what exactly is a personal project? The personal project, which is completed in the final year of the MYP, is an opportunity for students to gain new knowledge, understanding, and skills as they investigate a topic of their own interest. They will plan, research, and develop their project over the course of the next few months and discuss it at specific points along the way with a staff member who will serve as their supervisor. Ultimately, students will create a final product or arrive at a final outcome that shows what they've learned, created, or achieved. At the end of the process, they compile all of their work into a reflection that tells the story of their project. And then we celebrate their accomplishments at the school exhibition. We don't quite know what that will look like this year, but as like everything else, we'll figure it out. Students have already started this process through their advisory classes. The lessons begin by defining what a personal project is and helping students develop their ideas and interests. Then they move on to the proposal, which asks them to define more clearly what they hope to do, make, create, or achieve. Later in October, we'll be looking at the process journal, which you'll learn more about later. And then students will have their first meeting with their supervisors. Through their meetings with supervisors and through the advisory lessons and materials posted in the students' Canvas classrooms, students are supported throughout the personal project process. This Google Calendar, which you can click on in the presentation and subscribe to, will be updated with dates and deadlines as we move through the process. Due to the uncertainty of our current situation, we will need to be more flexible with these dates than we have in the past. This calendar, as well as the Canvas assignments calendar, will update throughout the year. Generally, the process begins in October and continues through students completing their final product or goal in January, and finally submitting the projects in February. We'll try to coordinate the final report with the changeover from first to second semester, as this is usually a slower time of the year for other work, but we'll need to adjust that based on this year's circumstances. The project has three primary components: a process journal, a final product or evidence of having met a final goal, and a reflective report submitted at the end of the process. All three of these are essential parts of the process and are necessary to score the projects and for students to receive credit. Students who successfully complete the project and earn a passing grade receive a 0.5 elective credit in second semester with a grade of either CR, meaning credit, or NG, meaning no grade. The course is called MYP Research Seminar, and the course code is 8901. The process journal is the most important part of the ongoing process for students. It includes the ongoing records of students' work, checkpoint assignments, which are completed in the Canvas classroom, and 4 written reflections, which ultimately become the rough draft of the reflective report that students submit in the end. These 3 kinds of process journal entries are all shared with the supervisor at meetings. Students will have a choice of a variety of formats for the ongoing records of their process. But this year, they do need to be able to share them digitally with their supervisor. The checkpoint and reflection assignments are submitted on the personal project Canvas classroom. This year, the Canvas classroom for the personal project will be the primary way that students receive materials and communicate with their supervisor. Once your student joins the classroom, you will be able to see it as an observer. We will use a single platform for the personal project this year. In the past, we have used a system called ManageBack to organize students by supervisor and monitor progress and to submit the final required reflections. Given the sheer number of new tools that students are being asked to use this year, we decided to confine ourselves to one platform. Some of the tools that MCPS has added to the Canvas platform make this feasible for this year, where it hasn't been in the past. You can click on this image in the presentation to see a video tour of the classroom. On the classroom, you will see all of the materials are organized by module. Students will be grouped by supervisor into sections, but materials will remain the same for everyone. Advisory lessons on the personal project will appear in both places, but assignment submissions will occur in this classroom. You will see that within the classroom, all of the lessons are presented in both a live and on-demand format. This means that if a student misses or loses connection during their advisory session, or just wants to go back and review something, they can use the on-demand video to access that. So, as parents, how can you stay involved in the process? The Personal Project website is the public-facing version of all of the project materials. It's there as a resource that allows you to see everything students are seeing, including videos, presentations, and materials. This is really a project that is more about process than it is about product. This is a really difficult shift for students to make. So much of their experience of education is product-oriented. We say to make a trifold board, create a Google Slides presentation, or write an essay. That makes the focus on process difficult. This year, it's especially important to keep the project goals and outcomes very realistic. We have to acknowledge that things that would have been within the scope of a project like this in a previous year are now impossible. We also need to remain attentive to students' mental health and balance. If you're concerned about your child's health and well-being as it relates to the project, please reach out to me and your child's counselor. The best way to monitor students' progress through the project is through their Canvas classroom. This is because credit for the project is earned in second semester. As you have questions along the way, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to address whatever questions you may have about the project process.